Our multi-purpose room, which is just one of these big boxes. It has, we'll go back here, it has a kitchen. This is the room that's used for just about everything. It has 2 bathrooms and a sink, just a sink, and a refrigerator kind of thing. It has these interesting storage closets. I don't know if you want to see down the closets, but down to this room.
When we go where the music stuff is.
This is it.
Yeah, then I think we should show just so people have
It can be tubas and,
yeah.
Well, this whole thing
visuals make a big difference.
It's used for music kind of stuff. So I'll show you this closet. We have a very active music room. So it's kind of storage for
you need a forklift to operate this place.
Yeah. This is really operating but not instruments. So it's fundraising, all that kind of stuff. And stands. You can see our stands here. These are our portable risers. We have no room for anything. So, and then this room used to be what I was called the old staff room. Well before my time. This is now our strings room. Come on in. So, acoustics doesn't work for strings. We have a couple of practice rooms. We barely fit in here, just barely. And we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 strings classes, pretty full. So.
And how many kids out of the school participate in music?
And performing arts is 1/3 of our school.
Yeah.
And the total school is 800 or?
It's roughly 8.
Okay.
We started at 810, I think, and we're down to 780 something.
Okay.
Right now. So we have needs for instrument storage. So we've got that's full when they all come back. You can see our cellos and things. And we can go off this room too. So this quad gets used at lunch and that's about it. Kids hang out here.
Where do they sit while they're?
Everywhere?
Just on the ground as well?
On the ground,
Out here on the ground?
They're next to the
In the
wall,
shade.
in the shade.
No tables are out here.
There's tables at a lunchroom over here, but they tend to not want to eat there.
Okay.
So, we're doing the whole music thing first. So we'll go back in here. So, this is our stage. Careful for the wires. Come on up. This is used for our play. This is used for presentation. It's not used for a band. The choir doesn't fit anymore. We do not fit the school, so we go and rent the high school auditoriums. Can't fit kids out here. Use school dances. The interesting thing it has, the parent groups over the years have bought us all of this lighting. So it's stuff that they've installed. So we have really nice lighting for dances and things. This room here connects into the band room. This was built to be a band room. We have storage back here.
Okay. Thank you for letting us.
So we don't fit everything in here either because we're outgrowing. Tim, how big is your bands? I mean, give me a ballpark.
Total students, it's over 200 and some kids.
Just in bands. So.
Yeah, as far as people that come in on the student plan plus jazz, plus jazz band stuff with our equipment. We're trying to put stuff in the practice room sort of, or like it'd be nice like shove them as practice rooms. Right now it's just like gear and trying to be safe with fire codes and everything else.
So it's a lot of people, this room gets a ton of use. I want to show you something that we're trying to be organized as well. And
This is the only small one that you
no, we have in our math rooms. This is something we have purchased in the last year. Storage, these were all in, how many file cabinets?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember. It was a lot. It was a lot of file cabinets.
This is all sheet music, and it's filed really nice and neat and orderly. Takes up much less space than file cabinets, but Tim's put a lot of time and money in doing all of that. Room gets used a ton because of the band. Thanks, Tim.
Sure, not a problem.
So, show you the back part. This plot of land is there is space. It's just, I inherited it. Just where it's used. One of the complaints, that gate is never open at the drop off and pick up, it's only open. Cars come in down here and do this view. But we have traffic problems with kids crossing, and so there's
What's this lot used for, you said?
drop off, pick up in the afternoon and in the morning, as is the front, but that gate is never open for that. So there's entrance, there's entrance.
They come in over there.
They
Okay,
come in over
I've
there,
never,
they
I've never
come
been
in
there.
there too,
Okay.
so
Why
it's
is
two
that? Is that the
places.
police or something, or I've never understood that.
The gate, we locked it. Because when my kids actually went here, that gate was open and cars would go this way, cars would, it was traffic nightmare. It was not great. So as we build, we have to think about traffic.
So there's drop-offs on both sides, yeah?
What?
The loop works great.
This one does. If people slow down.
Yeah.
Do as many people, sorry, go ahead,
Because kids come in, there's a gate over there that kids come through
on foot.
on foot and on bike and
Hmm.
have to cross this way. They don't do it safely.
Do as many people drop off in the front as back here? It's like they're both heavily used, yeah?
This one's probably less used, but we try and get people back here. Because you have to go around the neighborhood to get in.
What street do you come in from?
Laneway.
Laneway, okay.
Off of El Camino.
Yeah, it's just-
or you can
Laneway.
exit from
Sonia.
from
The main
these guys
street
from
here.
Sonia.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go explore.
It's very easy, but you have to know that it's there.
Because if you go all the way back, I won't walk that way. The district yard is there. For
Okay.
all. It's in
Oh,
the
the
back.
buses, yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's
I never,
this child care facility
Oh,
here
okay.
that we rent out to somebody else too. So we definitely want to keep two access
Okay.
points. So Kim, as we're going through, the only thing that I want to highlight is just a couple of things that were proposed in the plan.
Okay.
One concept is that this area, this whole area would be kind of not totally redone, and Marty knows this better than I do, but redo this to really kind of be the performing arts quad, and then maybe have an auditorium at the end here. That's kind of one of the big proposals that's been on the facilities plan, and that means changing the classrooms, changing the stage, the storage, everything, so that not necessarily taking it all down, but revamping a lot of it in order to make it functional.
Functional. So what you saw is a band room, a strings room. The strings was never built to be a strings room. We're going to go through here quietly because the play's practicing, but this is the choir room, and it was built to be a choir room. So, that's something to know about.
Because did this used to be the auditorium? Did this used to have an open air auditorium here?
No.
sounds more like a musical than a play. So far. I'm not going to video the.
But it's just for your
Well, I'm not going to videotape the kids because it might go up on YouTube, so we'll leave that
That's
off.
why it
That's
should
fine.
be for your own personal purposes. I have to find out if we can post it.
Oh, it's public, the meeting, right?
It is, and I know that we can videotape, but I'm just not sure how we post afterwards.
I would think I could post it if anybody can come and there's no kids in it.
Okay.
I would think it'd be fine.
Well, it's nice that we have it.
I thought the numbers were higher than a third.
It could be a little higher, but I haven't pulled all the numbers recently. There's a staff bathroom here. There's a storage room here that, so this is a working kind of closet. This is kind of an odd storage room. Don't laugh, Fiona.
What's in there now that we're gonna get behind?
I have not been in here in a while.
Oh, the chairs, chair room.
Well, it's everything.
Yeah.
It's grad night, it's PTA, it's chairs, it's graduation, it's some staging.
There's some stuff in there.
This has been moved around
Every
to
which
different
way.
places. so-
Because the chairs aren't necessarily nice as a district, and we ended up with the door. So, there's a couple of these kinds of odd closets.
Well, we use this facility to do big meetings too. I mean, we come, if we have a district-wide meeting or something, this might be a facility, so we need to be able to store.
So storage is essential right now, because we have really nothing left. I
We
call it no
we
room
had
in
to
the end.
fill all the classrooms this year.
Yeah, every classroom's filled.
Up until this year, there was a few that.
Well, there's one
Function
the district's
business.
using for,
Science materials, but.
so now I can start taking down through, I don't know if this is classrooms.
Yes.
See one single classroom.
Mhm.
A normal classroom.
Yeah.
And then I'll show you this one, because this is different. I don't know, I think he's doing it, but let's go this one. So most look, well, I'll give you this one and then I'll give you the others. So this wing is the only wing that doesn't have closets.
Thank you.
I don't know. I don't know if this
Could
is
you hit
an
the lights?
afterthought wing. So this whole wing looks like it's reversed. One of the closets are there. So they have these, but they don't have a walk-in kind of closet, which every other classroom has for storage. So it's not as big a deal, I found, in middle school. Elementary teachers tend to be more pack rats than middle school folks. They don't have as much stuff. But you still need storage. So, but every one of these, and these all have doors out to the parking lot.
So I guess the only highlight is in terms of the standard classroom, I guess, is kind of the concept moving forward. Some of the things that have or will be refined are around what goes into a classroom, how big does it need to be, certain kind of components of the classroom, and we've done some of that in the student facilities plan. We expect to relook at it, but we don't expect to make major changes to that. You know, to us, a standard classroom has X, Y, and Z, and that would be our goal to move towards that. Whether or not we can get every classroom at every site to do that is still part of the question. But
I have a question. Do all the classrooms have 2 doors or 2 entries?
Except for the portables.
Except for the portables.
Okay. So that's that, the other wings all along there.
What do your teachers complain about for a classroom like this, if anything?
Teachers in this one complain lack of storage.
Okay.
Their complaint, the TV, VCR kind of DVD, what's going to be the new medium,
Okay.
because it's in flux. They need whiteboard space, so they like these rooms, because this one has whiteboards in the front, in the back, and on the side, and I think all of them do. I think they would prefer it to be like Crittenden eventually, where they have the sliding ones and there's room in the back. But
Okay.
These don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's pretty doable. They're small when you put 35 bodies in here, and at any given time we put 35 bodies in here.
Is that the typical class size?
We try and do 30, but they can go up to 35
Okay.
generally. And so it's hard to do class sets. One of the things, and this is, I don't know, you or whatever, is desks that, if you look at these, it's hard, if you put them in groups of 4, you can only get in them one way. And that's really hard for kids. It's nice to be able to go both ways. And we looked at the sleigh ones, that it's called sleigh. The problem is they were on rockers, and if you put your feet back, they tend to rock back. So we didn't go that way with our newer classrooms. But it's really problematic, because kids go in rows. You'll see them in a variety of ways. Fanned out, 4 heads together. So they need that.
So the thing that I think is kind of good to highlight is that it's not necessarily the 4 walls that are of issue. It's really just kind of how you use it inside that is what we think needs to be changed a little bit, because
Mhm.
it's not where people are at today and where we think they're going to go necessarily. I mean,
And then they like
it's
walls.
functional.
It's functional. But if some don't have walls, like you look, this doesn't have as much wall space because all the windows.
Yeah.
But she's put wires in for stuff to hang things. You have to display student work. So teachers get around whatever they have. So that's this wing. Now, this wing. This was built at the last one.
Oh, this was the one that, this had the auditorium here, I think. Well, when they built,
I don't know, but this is, all four of these rooms join, and these are computer labs. And those, that's a closet, that's a door into the other room. But you can see as you walk through, they were built with electricity, they were built for computers, no matter how you put this around. Just different ceilings and all sorts of things. So we've used it different ways.
and that's, I guess, the reason we did, at all the sites, had done major renovation over the past 10 to 15 years, depending on
And this was one
which
of them.
district. This was one of them, and that's why I'm saying, in general, the site itself has, it works. It just isn't necessarily set up for the way that they want to use it and the growth that we've had. And so how do we get ourselves set up that way?
Well, because every other room wasn't wired for this. And you're gonna have plugs in the walls. They did put, I think the last model was update like racers in the walls with electricity.
Yeah.
Which it used to be 4 on each wall.
Well, and the wiring, if you're doing, and we've gone towards the projectors and the document cameras and things like that. So are you set up to have all of that equipment?
So one of the things they've expressed an interest in, and I don't even know if it's in the plan, I don't think so, but I will show you their one.
Spooky. Right there, I guess.
So this is what we have turned into a production room. So we have a GMS TV station, and it's a not a haphazard, it's put together, jury-rig production room. Our dream would be to have a really nice one, where it's kind of soundproofing and stuff. We have a room for it. For example, kids get up every morning and do announcements, and on this they have one of those teleprompters. It's pretty cool. So we have a film class that kids come and film and edit and learn all those skills, and it goes live. But as you can see, it's not really, and we've invested with PTA help and MBEF help, a lot of money in equipment. And it'd be nice to build some walls. There was a place we visited in Belmont that has a wonderful studio. It was cool.
It's always dangerous to go
It
visit.
always-
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Create a
that
big
way.
wishes.
I'm gonna go that way and turn these off.
Okay, so back up.
I just don't want you to follow. So then the next thing that I know teachers have expressed needs is our science. And I'm not sure what that's gonna take them to give you feedback, but I know that.
Should I turn off the lights or the janitor?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you. As far as the bond's concerned, is there any distinction between like plant and property? You know, can you just have? Can you buy whatever to outfit a room?
It outlines even.
Oh,
it
in
is
the
a
in the
separate-
bond.
Yeah, it is a
Separate bullet.
line item, yeah.
But if you look at these, they want something different than these tops. I don't know what that means, they haven't, they're just different. Bar stools, these are hard to deal with. These are all getting beat up, that kind of stuff, so this needs a facelift. They do lots of experiments, it's built for science, you have water. you have electricity. But when you start getting feedback from teachers, this would be a group of teachers you want to hear from.
Okay.
They're very knowledgeable about what they want. But what they have, don't kill yourself back here. And this guy's, he's alive, so don't freak out. That's Norbert, I think. Norbert?
He doesn't leave. He never leaves his station, huh?
He does. He wanders the classroom.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. He goes home on weekends with Mr. Garrity.
He's just getting a 10 right now.
Yeah, he just chills.
Well, the opposite.
Yeah.
He just warms. What was his name? Did anybody say?
Norbert.
That's Norbert, okay.
This is their storage area, and this is common, it's common for these 4 rooms. So all 4 rooms, we have 5 teachers. So we have 1 teacher that's not in this facility. This was built at the last, whenever they built it, long before my time. They still
do
don't
they
have enough
like
storage.
this?
Oh, they love it. They have they have 1 teacher that's a pack rat, which is all over here, and we're trying to get it cleaned.
Then this is a science room too. And this
All
is,
4 of these, you can open those doors.
Okay, yeah,
See, all 4, that's the nice thing to come in.
right.
You can see them.
Construction.
That would be a good first step. I should do that at my house as well. Before I buy a bigger house.
By grade level, by content. So 6th grade is earth science, 7th grade is life science, and
Sorry.
8th grade is physical science.
But do they do that by rooms, and one is
Generally.
earth science? And
Well, generally, but not always. Like, this year, yes. Last year before, he did 6th and 7th. So it just depends how we break it out. They share all the material. I'm not even sure where they've got all the microscopes housed at the moment, because we've invested quite a bit in the microscopes. We can go out that door. Right out there. There's all these little sideboards.
Thank you.
You're in middle school. Get used to the cutouts. So every other classroom has a
Something wrong.
has a storage,
so now there's a whole
and they like that.
paranormal rig there.
So
And this is standard.
this is standard in every other classroom.
They all have doors on the, or shoes on the back of the door. That's the standard.
Yeah, right.
Just in
Mel-
case.
Melvin?
If their outfit doesn't match.
Go get a new pair of shoes.
So because they all have individual thermostat control, because for
Yes.
example, this room is like incredibly warm, but there's nobody in it.
Yep, it's right there.
Okay.
So, but sometimes they don't work.
Right, okay, yeah, fair enough.
But in addition, there's a master system that
Shuts down
Shuts
and off.
down.
It'll shut it off after a
Okay,
while.
Okay, oh no, that's, you don't have to do. I'm
No, I
just
wanted to see what it's.
curious.
See,
not-
she's
it's
got
a-
it set at 72, so it's really hot.
Yeah.
there is a
Opportunity in the
there
balance to
absolutely
figure out.
energy
Yeah.
management
Yeah.
throughout, like the lighting systems, things
Yeah.
like that. They've done some, but they're, those kind of updates get outdated quickly. So
And I would
that's
say
it.
that, and those are pretty outdated.
Our energy management system is definitely outdated.
As are the window kind of things. So like those windows that are in this,
Yes.
those have been here since the beginning of time. Now, how energy efficient they are, I don't know. But, and draperies. Draperies are the ones that have been pretty much shot too. We're just touring, I'm sorry. Coming through your room. Going, who's in my room? You're all like, I didn't realize people were in here.
There's more of us.
There's a bunch of us in your room.
Hello.
What happened to your picture? Oh, it's on the outside.
Not my hair.
Now we have a couple of what I call oddball rooms. 42,
teachers to make sure they didn't.
Okay, sounds good.
Sorry, no problem.
So, I don't know all the history, but these rooms used to be shop rooms, home ec rooms. Oh, hello. I couldn't see you. Hi, Linda. We're
Sorry. Wasn't there a kitchen?
well, and then can I take them to the secret passage?
I'm not sure what I've thrown on the floor.
That's
Are
okay.
any bodies there?
Any bodies?
Sixth graders hiding out.
So this is another one of those odd
I
rooms.
guess we could. One of my moms.
There was a body in a sarcophagus. There was a sarcophagus with a body in it over there.
Well, I haven't gotten around to it.
Oh.
Yeah, those are mummified chickens behind you.
Oh, it's on, yes, I'm just setting out Egypt as we speak, but I think I'm going to just give it up for today.
Sorry, this is our secret passage.
Ah!
And I'm sure if you talk to Linda, she would tell you if it's outdated or not. She does a pretty nice job in here. That's her pantry. I've looked at a pantry like that. So the kids cook and sew and do laundry too. And it works for her. Now that's one of the boards that does have stuff behind it. So I don't know why.
I've heard that people really love this.
They really do.
And this is a room that, we still have classes, but there's a question long-term if you'll be able to get a certificated teacher to run this kind of class.
Once
because
Linda
it's not-
retires, which is not
that
too far
people
off.
can't get that kind of,
So it may be a
certificate.
which is sad. You have to have the right credential. Kids love this class. So, and it's just big and spacious. And the room across the way is district storage right now, but it used to be a shop room, I heard, and it had saws
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. I never saw those days.
Yeah, but that's really, the question is, how do you have a room like this that you could repurpose without having to, change the entire thing or tear out the whole thing and redo it, because down the road,
It's gonna have
those
to be.
kinds of things happen.
What would you replace this class with?
Not sure.
Oh, okay.
They're science,
Yeah,
and then
there's-
you do them with other large classrooms that need a lot of space.
I meant more, what would go into the student's day in place of this topic?
This is an elective, so we'd create a different.
Oh, okay.
And it's, if I could fill this with another teacher when she goes, I will, but I tend to doubt it. There's not that many people with that kind of credential out there. So I'm looking at, within the next 5 years, what happens.
So the
this
state
is
doesn't
our-
credential that field any longer to be taught?
Right, it's a home ec credential.
You have to
But-
get, you have
It's
to
a
get a
dying-
degree.
Oh, you have to get a,
home
well,
ec in
okay.
order
To have a middle school
How about-
single
That's
subject
the
home
problem.
ec teaching
That's the
credential.
Okay, to get, okay. Cornell has a human ecology program. Is that close enough? It used to be home ec.
Depends. I mean, that's the thing.
The other
You'd have
thing-
to figure
I
out
see.
how to do
Is lockers. Lockers are
did.
really used here.
My brother
We
does
don't
that.
have it like
Oh,
these.
they're
Need
now
to be
teaching.
redone. All the locks have been
Probably
taken
gonna
off.
Nice.
So-
And a lot of lockers got removed because they were so damaged in the past, and there's been a question of,
Do we do them
do you
again?
redo them, et cetera? Because they're a large maintenance expense, as you can, I mean,
But they're used a lot, especially kids that do the, what is that, skateboard kind of thing, and scooters, they go in them.
Oh,
They don't need them for textbooks because there's a home set of textbooks and a class set.
Oh, that's how it works at this school. You don't have to drag books.
Right.
saving bags.
Well,
One back in
They're
time.
still
they're
carrying
still
them around all
really
day.
fat. They're still really fat.
When are you gonna issue Kindles?
So I don't know.
that's.
So these doors raise up, and inside are picnic tables. And so every day, depending on weather, some of the doors open. If it's rainy, they'll just open one side. And kids can go in there and eat, some do, most don't. It's really loud.
Mm.
So-
But they're getting their food.
They get their food, we'll go through where they get their food. Yeah. And they come out and eat out here. They can eat anywhere on campus except on the fields. And they like that. They find shade or they just eat all over.
Yeah, at this stage,
They don't care.
it's the elementary schools that have them all sit together so that they can monitor. Yeah.
The hardest part is rainy days, and teenagers, you can't say go inside, they won't.
You see them. They just
go
they
they
just
wander in
sit
the halls.
under these things.
They don't care.
So this looks like a rather new building, this one here, yeah? This looks like it's got the newest roof and the newest
It was built
stuff.
before my time.
Really? It's not new.
It was part of the
it's older.
renovation, which I don't know what year it was.
12 or
done.
13 years ago, 14
Yeah,
years
I was
Okay.
gonna say
But
10,
maybe newer
but
than
I
some of the other
just-
buildings.
I was
Perhaps.
cleaning the gutters in November and they were rotted pretty good.
Rotted.
Yeah, I think it maybe got a coat of paint since then or something.
Just
but
looks
I
a little.
thought
It's not as new as it
The
looks.
construction of it was
Yeah.
part of the renovation.
Okay.
At all of our I mean, that's one of our objectives at all the sites is to have a covered eating area.
Okay.
It might not be
some
this
reason, like, he doesn't
this
know.
size or this kind of,
Right.
but you can't necessarily fit this.
But they do the chess tournament in here too. This gets used for other
Oh,
things.
it's
So
like
you get
a-
in the
it's like a
spring when it's
multi-use
beautiful,
outdoor
yeah, you
room.
throw all the doors up in there.
Okay.
It's just garage
You know.
doors all the way around.
Yeah,
Crazy,
exactly.
huh?
It's just
Yeah.
Yeah, that isn't. I've never seen a building like that.
It's pretty cool, actually.
And they all can go up at once.
I think he opens
Yeah.
this
Flip
side.
one, flip a bunch of
No,
switches.
no,
and-
no, He goes around each.
Oh, okay.
I think he opens this side and that side most of the time.
Okay.
He does.
Yeah.
These are always open in that. He never opens the backside. So the kids come in the opposite door. So this is the lunch where they serve. The kitchen's back here.
And this is not our prep kitchen. This is to serve this food. We have our prep kitchen at Creighton, where they prep all the meals and then
And
drop
truck it
them
over.
out to the other side. I mean, this has a larger kitchen than the elementary sites because they do more preparation here than at the other sites, but it's not our primary kitchen.
Yeah, do they ship any food to the elementary straight? Or do they?
These guys don't.
No, we do. We're self-contained.
Yeah, but that's what, they prep some of their own food here, but they don't ship out. Our other kitchen preps to ship out
Yeah,
to the other
this is
side.
just us.
Yeah.
So they have all the cooking, there's a walk-in freezer, they have their offices. Like, these doors go out, so this is where they come in as far as deliveries.
How are you, 810 students, how are you doing? Is it keeping up pretty much?
Keeping up in what way?
Child nutrition,
I mean,
the meals?
No, I mean, are you meeting demand or is it it's like, God, every time you meet the food director, they're like, I need more space, I need more space, I need more space. No.
They seem to be okay here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
I would
food.
say when we go to the other side where those portables are, that our real space needs we're almost to our capacity in terms of classrooms, but it's really all the extra kinds of things during the day or a pull-out class or something. That's what's being
Gotcha.
I have
crunched
very
because we
little
don't
freedom to
have
pull.
any. Yeah.
No storage, no after-school kind of, so I have to share classrooms and things.
Right.
And during the
then-
day, we're constantly bouncing around. I'll show you the spaces. so it's
And
just
then
the
are we
portables.
meeting all the kinds of activities that we want to do moving forward and the growth that we expect to have? Those are, I think, the critical
Right.
issues.
I think the kitchen was built for that. I mean,
This
for large.
kitchen is almost as big as our prep kitchen, so it seems
It seems doable. They don't
adequate.
complain here.
Yeah.
Do the kids go through in like cycles because that room seems quite small to have that many?
No,
people
they
go
actually
through?
come through in lines, and they're fine. It goes through and goes through 2 lines and go out. It takes about 15 minutes. Not for too long.
They
And they-
also have some windows where they can come, they will serve a meal
Yeah, there's a
out of
room
there.
window
They don't,
outside.
they want them to come through the other line, but.
And they have closets as well, so they don't seem to complain with this space.
How much growth is anticipated?
Yeah, that's a follow.
We've been growing as a district, I want to say about 50, so about, what is that, we're 5,000, so 1 to 2% a year.
Okay.
But, it certainly goes up and down like this,
Mhm.
and we've expected to not have huge growth, but we're doing a demographic study right now.
Okay.
So I don't know.
You don't have a number like we expect to be able to need to have 850 students here or 900 students here. You don't have a
No.
like a
No.
High
But
school
we
district's
did-
talking like, they got like 450 coming in a couple of years, and that's why they're adding 12 classrooms to this campus.
okay.
Well,
Four fifty
we've been
each is
growing.
what they're talking
Right.
about.
Okay.
We started, when I started 3 years ago, just a little over 600, just a little over.
And
This
then
year
you're
it was
gonna
8
10.
over.
Wait, 3 years
That's
ago it was
where
600?
Our
Yeah.
middle schools
Yeah,
are
yeah.
the places that are that we expect to see the growth. Right now, it kind of is coming through our grade levels,
Mhm.
and we're seeing it start to come into the 6th grade. That was a big jump.
The last
And
2
I
years
think
of
the
6th
next
grade.
couple of years, and then we're not seeing huge growth. But for us, we're not worried that we're going to lose enrollment. We
Mhm.
also don't think we're going to have tremendous enrollment because there's no new places to build. That's the stock is the housing stock is the housing stock, and so although new people can come in, it's not necessarily going to add a bunch more
Mhm.
homes.
Right.
So here's the staff.
This did. And down to 600 from the dot-com days. Dot-com crash? I mean, like, is that what caused it to go to 600? And
Works for us. We're staff, 40 teachers. If I had everybody on staff, it's 60-something. And 60's getting tight. If we have any kind of training, it gets pretty tight pretty quick.
This is large in comparison
To
to
most.
To most. I
But
mean,
we're the largest staff.
Yeah, and some sites are in a classroom as their staff room because they've grown out of their other space. They needed it for some other purpose or something like that.
Well, originally the staff room was the strings room, which you saw.
oh, okay.
And they moved here when this was built.
It's not too far, I mean, for some of them walking here across, no.
They don't mind.
Yeah.
The only complaint they have about this room is that pole. They have that pole in the middle of the room.
Are they chasing each other around or something,
Well, you can't
bonking into
see
it?
If you're presenting, it just knocks.
Oh,
out.
okay. Obstructed view, they say at the opera. Yeah.
So it's like, what the heck is it? We've talked about decorating the pole.
Was this part, you said when this was built, was this built in that 10 to 15 years ago
I wouldn't know.
time frame? You don't know either? Okay.
Barney, do you know that?
I think it was built during the last bond go-round, which I
Yeah,
think is
late
older
90s.
than that, late
Okay.
90s.
You know you have a room for teachers, there's like photocopy machines and color paper, is that like adjacent, is that,
It's up by the office.
it's not, okay, and they don't
And-
have, I would think having that near a break room, I don't know, they don't really think about that.
No,
Good, good.
they like it because
Oh, it's
9
where the
times.
alarm panel.
Well, it's where the alarm panel is. It's also close to us. So if they're doing something, they tend to want to do the office. So this is where and most of them don't hang out here at lunch anyway, they're in the rooms. But they come down at break. And this is where we meet, and this is where we have trainings. So we need a big space.
How often does all staff get together? Once a week or once a month? Or?
Once a week,
Once a week.
every Wednesday morning. But this gets used by Girl Scouts, PTA, groups, all sorts of groups use this room.
Yeah, we do, just like we lease out those portables over there, we do have people that come and lease out rooms at very minimal, no cost or minimal cost to them.
And it works for them. So it's nice.
So,
So,
can we go to that last week?
not through that door. That's
Okay.
that's actually a patio.
Oh,
See that?
Is it covered? I mean, is it just for this group
It's only for this.
and it doesn't access the other?
Well, no, look. This is like, just so you know, this is another one of those funky closets.
A few teachers who smoke or something.
No, it's actually.
That's what it sounds like. Closed
No,
patio
people
on the
don't
teachers.
speak. This is paper, so we put our paper and some of our technology we wrote in our emergency water. So if this collapses, we don't have water, I guess.
Which one are you going to send, Fiona?
You know which one I was saying. Do you? Maybe you don't. I'm saying
I
that
do.
one.
I saw your email address.
Oh, yeah. I tend to wear it on my sleeve. That's why I thought you might have guessed.
No, if you want those red and blue rivalries in the school.
Oh, they're already here.
Oh, yeah, that's not legal. Not allowed.
The Niners Falcon rivalry was hysterical because the geometry teacher, Scott McKee, is a diehard Falcons fan. And he bet with somebody else on who to wear a Niners.
As a full classroom, pretty much. This one's only used a couple of times a day because of the nature of it. But these portables are not what we call classrooms. We put our special ed kiddos, they're only 4 or 5 at a time in there.
The Beat. Is it musical?
Parks and Rec or something.
Parks and
No,
Rec.
it's Parks and Rec, it's what they call
The
it.
Beat.
They got 4 people and they got games and stuff.
So
in
2
there.
of those rooms are special ed resource rooms. One is the book room, which you have to have for our textbooks. And one is this little tiny closet kind of room, so we've got some stuff in there. And room 40 and 41 are kind of after school kinds of stuff. And just read, just math, things that come during the school.
So I just want to highlight one thing while we're here. The history of this is that we have joint use on all of our fields with the City of Mountain View Parks and Rec.
Okay.
They maintain all the fields, but this was put in because they had one of their main water tanks underneath, and so they came in and did all the improvements here, including the track. And one of the questions or concerns is that the fields are very disparate between the 2 campuses.
Okay.
And so we believe that there should be equity across our campuses, and that's a big issue.
Okay.
This is a huge draw. It's used constantly on the weekends. You cannot park here on the weekends.
I'd be running on it right now if I wasn't in this.
Yeah. It's pretty
My running buddy's over there on the track in the white shirt. He's fast.
So these portables are the portables they're talking of tearing down.
So there's nothing, they don't move or anything. They were maybe brought here? They were assembled somewhere and brought here?
I guess so. They're considered permanent portables, these ones.
They don't look very portable, but
That's what any classroom that is sitting on top of the ground instead of
built into
is
it.
called a portable.
Okay.
These do not have 2 doors. These have 1.
Okay.
So these,
Is there any hope to replace that with one of these?
The issue is that some of these actually have some deterioration, and it would be one of our primary goals to replace all of those.
With replace those with these, yeah.
potentially
Potentially 2-story.
Oh,
or
2-story.
at least we need
classrooms.
more classrooms, and our goal would be to not have this vintage of portables at any of our sites.
Okay.
These are the
Because
oldest, aren't they?
I believe that they are, but I'm not sure. I do know that they have some deterioration, and so, I don't know that realistically you can get rid of them at every single campus because we need space, and it's very valuable space. But these, in the whole district, these would be probably the first that we would like to replace. Is that a true statement?
Yeah, I mean, the vintage that these are, they were built as temporary housing, 5 years, 10 years.
In the 70s or something, or?
Right, and they've been there 25 years. So.
Then there used to be 2 wings of them, my understanding. But when they built the track, that other set went away.
So we do need classroom space, but it's how do we get that?
And these wings are like typically like the bigger. Some of them have 4 and some have 5 classrooms. So you're talking about a 2-story adding 10 classrooms. Well, not adding. You're getting rid of this, but then a 2-story building of like 10 rooms.
I don't know the count.
Okay.
It's on here.
So how do you deal with the interim? Well, like if you raise these, then where does everybody go while you're building the new one? Where do they fit?
Have to put temporary
Move them over.
Teacher's lounge. Oh, put something even more temporary up.
Or you might use these, and it depends on
You bring in some
on
trailers or
what
something.
you're doing, but you have temporary space.
Temporary space.
Yeah, I mean, these can be moved. They may not look like it now, but they do separate and they can be lifted
Oh,
up.
so you really could move them over there, build a new one, and then demolish
there,
them.
And then you get rid of them.
At every site, we will definitely have temporary space because it's the only way to get through a year without closing down the campus.
If you move these somewhere else while you build the new ones, you're probably not going to tear them down at the end.
I don't know about these.
You'll be like, oh, look, well, big closets.
You only get like a 1-year variance.
Oh, that's how that works? People would be like, let's use them as closets.
Then the charter school guy says
Our objective is
Would be to
not
get rid of them.
I
not
wouldn't
have
even, I
portables.
don't put full classrooms in here.
Okay.
One, they don't fit, they're smaller, it's just not conducive.
Back in the 900 people days, do you think that these were used as full classrooms?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Los Altos Elementary, they built the whole school at Block and Egan,
Okay.
and the kids moved in there so they could redo the campus. And then when they were done, alternately the different elementary schools closed for a year, and the kids used those portables.
Okay.
And
You know,
Craig
for
doesn't
5
want to do
years.
that.
Gee, I don't know why.
Well, and see, so what happened at the end, the charter guy took over the one. That's why the one at Egan is still there. That whole
Oh, the Bullis thing.
yeah. He took over those. And they couldn't tear them down. They tore down the ones that blocked.
Okay.
It's back to normal.
I'm just gonna explain, we do maintenance on these annually, but they're just not set up to be a permanent structure. You can see that they start to deteriorate, the siding starts to go.
Sorry, is that just blank space in between those?
Yeah. Or it has where the air condition, it might have the pop out for the heating and air conditioning. I know this is. They're actually loud and the air conditioners and stuff leak.
There's
I
a
mean,
lot of-
they're supposed to, so you don't
Conduit
want to.
roof. That's all, you know.
The
That's all original.
condensation and stuff, you can't put. Yeah, and I think,
Because really it's this and the sports pavilion.
okay.
That's the sports pavilion there? Like a basketball court, or?
Usually on the table for any kind of.
That's like property of the city. Isn't it?
It's fine, right?
It's joint owned, yeah.
It's fine.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, okay. It's more than fine. Okay.
And it's used.
It's
yeah.
amazing.
I don't think you'll find another middle school with a facility
Yeah,
like that.
no. The school hosts everything. It hosts all of the soccer finals and the track finals and I mean, it hosts.
You have track finals on the outside,
Right, on
and
the
then
outside, not inside.
basketball finals on the inside.
Yeah.
I think we said 1 hour and then we go. Do you remember, we said 1 hour?
That's what Sarah said.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I've got the right time. Okay.
So some of the needs here are some new shelving, because we're growing and we're constantly weeding out old but adding new. Jim's gonna move this case for me into the office, and I'd like to build some shelving there, maybe, or put computer stations there and put shelving under the walls over there. So we're just, if you look around, there's just stacks of books everywhere. So,
And I think if we walk towards here, I'm just gonna highlight in the administration building over here. And if you haven't gone in, you can feel free, but I'm gonna walk towards the, multipurpose room. Just to, they definitely also need some kind of small conference spaces in there. And it's just not, large enough. It's not large enough.
not for school this size.
And what was interesting is that in both of the architectural meetings, both of the architects that we ended up recommending came up with the same proposal of possibly having this be an administrative building because it's larger and it can still be kind of the front of the school, so you're still capturing people in, and then repurposing that space, because adding on a small amount to this size building is costly.
Right. It's not.
So, yeah, so I that was interesting, I thought, when we were going through the process.
So you wanna, we can walk right through my office.
Okay, great. So those would be the kinds of things, as we're meeting as the committee, is that in line with what was proposed?
Sorry. That's fine.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
man.
Take it as you go.
Good thing my hands are full.
So these are the,
Okay, we're gonna go over to the.
You've already hit all that.
Yeah.
so if you wanna walk through, this is pretty much it, what you see. So, a tiny office for this system, my office, this little conference room, which is not big enough for anything. You get kind of claustrophobic, because we always, we have up to 15 people at a meeting sometimes.
Hmm.
And then we have one more back there, smaller than that. So, it's pretty tight. It's nice that the fact that the public comes in from the front and kids come from the back too, though, so it kind of goes this way. It's a very open place. It's pretty tight.
All done?
So when you guys are done, you're gonna come back to the